There's some bushes on Parmenter Street. They're just after the long red wall, and they're not actually really bushes. They're foliage which grows at the bottom of 2 or 3 large trees. It just separates a small bit of space from the red wall behind and the road running past, and you can get in behind these bushes. So we were on our way to these bushes, a very particular spot, and as we approached we could see there were these 3 Russian guys sitting there having a picnic, eating sausage and bread, some kind of salami, sitting down on what, well, is probably a fairly kind of revolting spot to sit, probably, to other people. So I thought, well, okay, but I want to do our filming, so we're going to have to get in the bushes with them, or at least go past them. So they let us past and carried on drinking vodka and talking in Russian, and inevitably they wondered what we were doing there. I guess just as we had been surprised to see them, they were kind of surprised to see us. One of the guys asked us if we'd like some vodka, and I'd said no, and he asked me what I drink, so I said I drink tea, and then they had to go, so we just stayed and finished off our filming. Then, like maybe 5 or 10 minutes later, this one guy came back and he said that he had something for us, and he brought out this really large bottle, like a 2-litre cola bottle, and he said, this is kvass, this is Russian kvass, it's very nice, and he gave us some of this drink. It was like a sort of herbally kind of cola flavour, very fizzy, very sweet. So we had a drink with him, and then he went away. Under the railway bridge at Glass Street, there's always something lurking in the dark. Strange things that get left behind. Never know quite why. Quite a random selection of stuff. Sometimes bits of car, sometimes bits of food. This time I was walking from 3 Colts Lane, walking towards Glass Street, and I just came underneath where the 2 railway bridges cross overhead. So it's quite dark, quite grimy as I turned the corner, and in the dark there's a stack of those baker's red crates, maybe about 4 stacks high, making a cube, kind of maroon cube, and inside each layer of the cube was these white round bread buns, the really soft kind, all stacked up, and on the top crate open, so you could see the round curved surface of these bread buns. They look so soft and squishy, and so incongruous in this dark, grimy space, just sitting there alone in the middle of the road. And I just so wanted to sink my hand into this, well, maybe not warm bread, but it looked like it would have been warm. There was a group of street drinkers on the corner of Pedley Street, and they were as much a fixture as the shoe tree. They had a brazier where they were warming themselves and standing around drinking and talking, and I got a little bit friendly with one of them, and went and met them a few times and talked, had a bit of a chat, and the one that I spoke to most was called John, and I did a bit of an interview with him, and he told me about himself and his life, though he's quite difficult to talk to because his speech can be quite difficult to understand. So one day, when I was down there and near the shoe tree, and I think I was there with Claire and Serena, it happened that John was there. We were filming the shoe tree, so it was obvious that we were very interested in it, and this man John had met me before, and I think he and some of his other friends were drinking at the corner as usual whilst we were filming, and he came over to us and told me that this was his creation, his artwork, and he was responsible for for finding and scavenging the shoes, tying them together and hurling them over the telegraph wire, and he'd built this up over a period of time. And he asked if we would just wait a minute because he had a photograph he wanted to show us. And he went off very quickly to, I think it's a hostel where he lives, which is just behind, well, just ahead of the shoe tree. And he went off and came back quite quickly, and he had a photograph, a framed photograph, which was a picture of him standing in the street with the shoe tree overhead. And he explained that a photographer had come and had taken his photograph with the shoe tree, and he asked if we would like him to stand, I think, with me in the street, and with him holding the photograph and photograph that again. The railway footbridge cuts through from Cheshire Street, and over the railway it turns a corner down some steps and then turns another corner leading down into a railway arch. And because of the turn in the stairs, you can't see who might be coming round the corner, and as it leads down into a railway arch, which is also very dark and sort of very secluded from any main streets, it leads onto a cobbled lane. There's not that many people passing through, sometimes a few during the day. It's also very scummy, dirty, with all sorts of filthy things, so I guess understandably you imagine that there's somebody equally filthy and scary who might be lurking around the corner, just out of sight, ready to pounce on you as you go round. So as we approached the railway footbridge, I felt the apprehension of all of those things. It was dark. It must have been about 11 o'clock maybe. There was nobody really around, but we wanted to go over to the other side because it was on our route. So we kind of gingerly approached the steps up to the bridge, and one of us thought we saw something at the other side, and we all went running back down again and screaming, and we just couldn't believe how scared we'd been and how stupid it seemed. The fear seemed to have nothing really to do with those ordinary fears of being attacked in the street by someone. It had taken on a kind of supernatural quality, some kind of indefinable fear that was lurking along this bridge.